Donk Nation, Jackson, Janet, greetings, and welcome to today's Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, keeping it nonsensical in the off season. We have Laskers in studio. We have Gingy joining us. We had a big mistake on my part with the laptop yesterday, so we're trying to redo it close to what it was. But Gingy, before we get to you, let's have Laskers break down what he thinks of the off season, and then you can chime in where you feel appropriate. How about that?
How about that?
Well, a lot of the offseason I think is going to be a wait and see thing. I do like the DK Metcalf signing. I'm still waiting to see with the Rodgers thing. I don't want Rodgers, but it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. But we'll see how the rest of the offseason plays out in the next few years.
Rodgers signs with the Steelers as soon as mandatory minicamp's over. He just don't want to make himself go to that stuff, man. He ain't trying to do that. As soon as that's all over, though, he'll be signing.
Yeah, based off the new rumor mill, because the comments he said about showing up as an opponent in Chicago this year or something along those lines makes it seem that way. But I wanted to keep the nonsensical we talked about. If Rodgers doesn't sign, maybe we talk to Ryan Tannehill, or rumors told me Doc Hodges might be coming to Pittsburgh. Just putting it out there.
Your Ryan Tannehill story was way more dramatic on the pre-version of this show. I want all them Jackson Jennings to know.
But I honestly don't remember what it was. So
it was a really massive build-up, Donkey. You really laid it out there. Trust
they
me,
got the Cliff Notes.
Your viewers
They got the Cliff Notes version, and the reason Duck Hodges is being reconsidered, of course, is because the Roonies, they're cheap. They ain't gonna pay for halftime shows. Laney Wilson comes as part of the package deal with Duck Hodges.
That didn't work very well with Russ Wilson, though.
That's just because she was too busy at home being a mama, you see. She wasn't touring at the time. Lady Wilson's still touring and big at the time, so,
All right, I'm ready to bring Duck Hodges back.
Well, I don't know. And I said this, Donkey, I don't know if does any of this really matter? Whether it's Rodgers or Rudolph, is the difference like 10-7 or 7-10? If it's three games, do you think Rodgers, the Rodgers and Mason, is the difference more or less than 3 games with those two quarterbacks?
As I said, I like to be a statistics person, and I feel Aaron Rodgers is the guy who gives you the best chance to have that great season. And Mason Rudolph gives you a better chance of having that worst season. So statistically, we'll say Aaron Rodgers is 10% more likely to make a difference than Mason Rudolph. How about that?
Statistically pulled right out of the air, Donkey, 10%. Plus or minus 3 games with Rodgers versus Rudolph. Tell me.
It's statistically based off of numbers last year and past performance, saying he recaptures 70% of what he lost, because I don't think he'll regain it all. If he gains 70% of what he lost, and we take Mason Rudolph based off of what he did in Pittsburgh, I'm not even going to involve the Tennessee catastrophe, right? In that scenario, Aaron Rodgers is worth 2.5 wins more than Mason Rudolph. Now, if Aaron Rodgers plays the way he did last year in the Jets, he's worth half a win. So take that for what you want. But if it's comparing Aaron Rodgers to the Mason Rudolph in Tennessee last year, he's allegedly worth 2 wins in the statistic anomalies put out there that you can put in your own numbers, say, bias of information, however you want to phrase it. I won't argue, but I will say the numbers I have seen, which I firmly believe are done pretty good. That's what they're saying.
2 or 3 games, then, Donkey. That's fine. Is it worth it?
No, because Aaron Rodgers doesn't make this team good. He makes this team better. He doesn't make this team good, but he will make this team entertaining, Laskers.
He could make this team entertaining.
Oh, it's going to be entertaining. Shit is going to hit the fan, and I'm all for it.
Wow. Does Mike Tomlin ever get on the hot seat? If they do not have a winning season, does that put Mike Tomlin on the hot seat in Pittsburgh?
Someone tell me when his contract's up, because until that season, the seat is as cold as ice.
Didn't he re-sign last year?
I know he's here for a while, so until the season his contract is up, Gingy, his seat couldn't be colder unless he makes it hot himself. You know, leaving to be a broadcaster or something. Maybe he'll go coach UNC after Belichick blows up with his little Hoochie Mama girlfriend.
Wow. Haters gonna hate.
Gingy, we were just holding because we were frozen there for a minute. Nobody worry about it. We're back. So Laskers, your thought on the draft? Any players you're really looking forward to, or any picks that you're like, what were you doing?
I think the Will Howard signing is kind of interesting, and I'm going to wish him the best of luck, and I hope that it actually does pan out. Other than that, I didn't really see anything that really, is like, oh, I want to see this. But I also don't watch college football, so.
That's absolutely fair. Gingy, Laskers, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens signing a 30-year-old running back to a big deal. What? That doesn't happen. No.
Yeah,
but
definitely. How many times does Derrick Henry's happen?
Well, I've seen one of him, and the one of him scares me. So there's that.
He's still in the league at 30 years old.
Yeah, there was an Adrian Peterson at that age who could pull it off, but probably wasn't built into an offense like the Ravens are built for running now. So, yeah.
He also was like 40 pounds lighter than this freight train.
Yeah, he was. Different backs, for sure. But, I was just talking age and skill at the position.
It's more of a thing you used to see than you currently see, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just the volume you used to get in the olden days. These backs don't get anymore, and it's just a dog eat dog world. And maybe more so, it's just, you say what you want. This current version of football is played with so much more speed than what we grew up watching late 90s, early 2000s to like the 2010s even. Just the amount. Okay, frozen.
Yeah, absolutely.
The amount of speed is crazy, yeah. But let's
speed
keep it going here.
Positions.
You like Will Howard there. Any other picks, Laskers?
No, that's about all I can really see that, could turn the tables for us. Maybe we have the quarterback of the future. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out.
Do you like Will Howard?
Do I?
Yeah.
He's a dog. National champion, baby. Let's go.
Last time we did that was, ironically, wasn't T. Martin a 6th-round draft pick?
I got no idea.
I think that's the last time we drafted a national championship quarterback. I think it was T. Martin in the 5th or 6th round. Someone needs to find that out for me and let me know. So we talked the Derrick Henry thing. Steelers being linked to wide receivers in the trade market again. Did we strike twice in the offseason? I ask you guys. Is there a possibility of 2 wide receivers coming into Pittsburgh?
No, this is it. They're going to trot this right out there, as is.
So,
it's going to be terrible.
Is this wide receiving core better than last year's?
This one's better than last year's.
It is. But who's taking Van Jefferson's reps?
Anybody can take Van Jefferson's reps. You can get Zoidie take Van Jefferson's reps. He
caught an actual well-run, well-rounded touchdown, Gingy. He caught one. Come on.
And good for him. I think we could put.
Gingy, a fan of Roman Wilson. All right. I can dig that. I prefer to bank on people who don't spend their whole rookie season injured as an undersized guy. But
So
I hope
I
you're
mean,
right.
are you talking about Calvin Austin when you're saying that? You see what?
You know, when he's healthy, he is fast. I will say that. That's what I'll say.
So T. Martin was drafted in the 5th round of the 2000 draft.
5th round, man. Will Howard's a round worse than T. Martin.
Wow.
That's surprising, actually.
Wow.
Will Howard definitely has more of the actual NFL quarterback build than T. Martin ever did. Any other fun off-season stuff or just random stuff you guys want to talk about?
I want to talk about perpetual harnessing, I'll call it, of offensive football. What do you think about that, Donkey?
I'm not even sure what you mean by that.
I mean, this thing is reined in so much. How's this offense going to survive? Let's look. I mean, we talked about this. Looking at the roster right now, Donkey. You put Aaron Rodgers behind that line. What's going to happen? You're going to get exactly what we're going to what we should end up taking anyway. At like game 5, which is just Mason Rudolph.
So Gingy's question, just in case it cut out, was: if we put in Aaron Rodgers behind this line, will he live? Well, people have told me Broderick Jones' only problem was that the Steelers moved him to the left side or the right side. So maybe Broderick Jones is a dog. And
is he still going to be? Is he going back?
Maybe
to the
Mason
left?
McCormick and Frazier take a step forward. Simualu turns the clock back, and Troy Fontanu stays healthy. And we have a top 15 offensive line in football. Yeah, let's happy time, Gingy. I'm gonna go happy time. I'm gonna say. Silly thing for us again. I'm gonna say at this time, all the suspects turn into superstars. Okay, it's that time of the year where every player is a superstar in waiting. This offensive line is going to be great. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 4K. Johnson's coming in. He's running for 1,000 yards. You're getting another 1,000 yards out of the other 2 running backs. And, dude, we're golden. We're golden. Like Lombardi golden. Come on now.
I think Donkey's really hoping.
Yeah, seriously. What are you smoking over there, Donkey? That's crazy.
Someone's got to... Y'all are taking my route of the negativity realist. Someone's got to be a positive influence in this show. And it's not supposed to be me, but you bums ain't doing your dang jobs. I know I don't pay you anything, but do your jobs. Come on, man.
Who picks them to lose more than anyone?
We get paid something? What?
I said I don't pay you.
Oh.
I will, however, if Aaron Rodgers gets us to a championship game, buy you an Aaron Rodgers jersey. We already talked about that. So there will be compensation of some kind.
That's a long shot. I have better odds of winning the Powerball, I feel, at this point than that.
Well, if you win the Powerball, I'd like to say that was because of clearly the motivation you were given here to go play. So you can consider that your pay and give 10% back to the corporation.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what, Ted. If I win the Powerball, everybody in this enterprise is getting an Aaron Rodgers Steelers jersey. How about that?
Go. Let's go. Can it be an autographed one at that point?
Why not? That'd be beautiful.
Let's go. I will start using my webcam, and that thing will be the only thing you see in here will be that autographed Aaron Rodgers jersey. You best believe it.
Wow. Locked in, Donkey.
It'll just be a video of the Aaron Rodgers jersey.
My happy face, dude. Right there. Okay, now I'm absolutely lambasted here, Laskers. Where were we going?
I don't think we had a plan.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Off-season stuff. Is there any other fun things that happened?
I don't know. How do you think all these other draft picks are going to turn out? We talked about the Steelers draft picks. This two-way player and Hunter, top overall Cam Ward. What do you think about these guys, Donkey?
Cam Ward is a first-round grade quarterback. So, Gingy, you're here asking about some of these draft picks. Cam Ward, like the quarterback, like him as a first-round pick. That's where I thought he was talent-wise. Little early at 1 overall, which means he goes to a really bad situation, which might be the worst for him. And then you get to Travis Hunter, the other guy you asked about. I mean, the Jaguars giving up a lot of capital to the Browns. By getting a first round wide receiver and defensive back in the same player? Or do the Jaguars look like a bunch of dumb jagoffs who made a terrible decision banking all their future on a two-way star who turns out to be either just a one-way star, which in case doesn't really equal what they gave up, or two, what if he doesn't work out at all last year?
Oh, if he doesn't work out at all, then they look real dumb, and it's going to set them back a few years.
Yeah, without a doubt. Anyone else you like in there, Gingy?
Oh, I don't know. What were some of the more interesting picks up top?
I don't really know. Like, it was mostly just quarterbacks being avoided that made it really interesting. Everything else was kind of chalk.
Penn State, right?
No,
First
Loveless from Michigan got taken first. He was taken by the Bears?
They're really stacking that offense for Caleb Williams, aren't they?
Oh yeah, dude. Johnson's fingerprints are all over what has happened in the offseason in Chicago.
Yeah, they might be putting something together over there if Williams is able to develop. Holy smokes.
Yeah, without doubt. Just because I'm not sure how this audio is going to work out and things have been really crazy today, we'll go ahead and get into our ratings for today, which were rank your 2 favorite spots to watch football. Gingy.
Spot number 2 would be, of course, in the comfort of my home, waving the towel on the couch, maybe a little cold beverage, maybe a little popcorn, maybe a little pretzel, maybe chip and dip if it's a big game that week, right? If it's Ravens Steelers, clearly it's Buffalo. There are a couple things that you lose out with the number 1 pick. Overall, being live and in person, in stadium, waving towels, hooting and hollering. However, it is the comfort of your home does provide some advantages with the broadcast, depending on who's calling the game, right?
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
Those are, but being live and in person, oh man, Renegade, oh yeah, that's a good spot. That's a great spot.
That's the spot. That's the spot. He's a kitty
yeah,
that's tail right now.
That's what I'm saying. That got the leg thumping, found the spot. That's good.
Laskers.
My number 2 is your old seats at Three River Stadium in the nosebleeds. That was a lot of fun back in the day. couch is definitely my number one spot.
Number 2, definitely watching football through the TV because I'm the person who likes to analyze everything and being able to go back and see the replays instantly, especially now how easy it is. I don't have to DVR or VHS it. Dude, I just double click my back button. It brings me back 10 seconds. Now, streaming stuff is awesome. I don't care who says otherwise. And number 1 to me is anytime in stadium where you're in those seats where you get to interact with the team. Either the high fives through the tunnel, the jumps into the stands, like Lambeau Leafs, man. That's why Lambeau has to be a spot to go, just because the fan engagement there is awesome. I remember college, Shady McCoy jumping up into the student section, man, being right up there in the front of the student section. To me, that is the best experience, and you get to see how large these individuals are. If you have never been to a football game, season game somewhere, sit somewhere close, so you can just really understand the size of the individuals that are doing this game and having a good old time. Let's keep it rolling here because we haven't messed up the audio yet, so we're going to keep a little shout-outs. We'll go to Laskers because Gingy definitely don't have one in the off-season.
I definitely don't have one either. I don't remember what I shouted out yesterday, so we're going with I don't have one.
All right, well, I'm going to shout out Laskers for being in studio way up here in the Great North. And I'm going to shout out the Pittsburgh Pirates for being bad, but not being bad enough to hold the record for consecutive games under 4 runs, just tying the records. Good job, Pittsburgh. Way to be just bad enough to be record-worthy. Nonsensical funness. I will try to figure out what the heck is going on. There might be new equipment involved in it next week. Hopefully the product was okay this time. But if not, last year, if you can just let them know.
I'm the Laskers everywhere, and Gingy, over to you.
Mutant Gingy in the house, talking football, hanging out, nonsensical talk. Donkey products always questionable, but here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go Steelers.